I have never seen a game come remotely close to providing the same experience as Runescape. That recently changed when I tried out the MMORPG called TitanReach, a game heavily inspired by Runescape, crafted into a third-person experience. TitanReach is an indie project by Square Root Studios that started development in late 2019. It features colourful low polygon graphics, PvE and PvP, up to 18 combat skills and non-combat skills to train to level 100, and will feature lore evolving around Titans. The game is currently being worked on by around 6 people half-time and is scheduled to start on Kickstarter in approximately 2 weeks for crowdfunding. The exact release date is currently still unknown. If you are looking for a good reason to have faith in this game, an XJagex moderator is part of the team. That being said, the best way to experience this game is to try it out for yourself during playtests or when it goes live on Kickstarter. I'll leave a link to their public Discord in the description below if you'd like to check the game out. In this video we're going to be covering what the game is like and in which direction they are heading. So when you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax and enjoy. This game got me interested after I watched a video of another content creator by the name of The Lazy Peon, and I saw a couple of mentions of the game in my own comment section. However, I had to experience the game for myself to judge if I was going to have faith in this project or not. After a quick Google search, I couldn't really find that much information about TitanReach, so I decided to PM the developers in the Discord server. Within a day, I was able to get access to an older build of the game, and the reason I say older is because a lot of the things in game have been improved and my build was basically a placeholder, including the tutorial. I was quickly impressed by the amount of options the character creation screen had. Albeit simple options, this is a game very early in development, so I was impressed. After I spawned in, I noticed that the movements were very responsive and fluid. According to the first NPC you talk to, you've washed ashore and you've lost your memory. Something I missed at the start of this game was some sort of cutscene of you washing ashore. Although this is an early build, it would have been nice to have that as an opening scene. I did talk to the developers about this and they may think about implementing such things into the game later on. Something that you notice straight away are the low polygon graphics, which you either love or hate. Two great things about these graphics are that it enables the developers to quickly curate content without working on too much of the details, and the fact that you can probably play this game on any potato you can find. I personally don't mind these graphics, but I can see them being a problem if you like the immersion of realistic looking games. However, this low polygon graphic style also gives this game a unique vibe, something you don't really see in too many other MMORPGs. At least when I look up the most popular MMORPGs, I don't see any low polygon games. Visuals aren't the only simple thing in this game. The HUD, interface, dialogues, and icons are simple and new player friendly, unlike some other games I have played. Apparently you cannot randomly initiate combat by whacking someone with a fishing rod. That's good, I guess. Skilling in TitanReach is different when compared to Runescape. Instead of clicking on a spot, you use E. And it's always AFKable, somewhat. Most gatherer skills in this game are semi-AFK. You have a bar you fill up, and once that bar fills up, you stop doing the action and you have to press E again. There is, however, no active way of training mining or fishing, for example, which is something I did suggest. Maybe for higher level materials, you have to spam E to get more materials per hour. That way you encourage players that want more materials per hour to put in more effort, instead of semi-AFKing the skill all the time. For other skills like cooking and forging, you have a nice clean interface for you to select how many of an item you'd like to create. Speaking of the skills, let's quickly go over which ones they have in mind currently. As for combat skills, they have dexterity, strength, defense, vitality, ranged, and sorcery. They did possibly have plans to actually expand the combat skills, just like with melee where you have dexterity and strength, to have both an accuracy and damage skill for both ranged and sorcery, aka magic. They have a skill called Occultism, which will allow you to harvest monster souls to level up. I assume this might have something to do with Slayer as well, or something you do in combination with each other. They have mining, fishing, woodcutting, cooking, pretty straightforward, but then they split the smithing skill of RuneScape into two different skills. Forging, which is actually smithing a weapon on the anvil, and metallurgy, and I think I pronounced that wrong, which is actually creating and smelting the bars, which is interesting. They have a skill called Arcana, which is teleports, enchanting jewelry, and imbuing items, which is most likely going to be similar to warding and invention. They have survival, which is basically fire making, fletching, and woodcutting in one. They have alchemy, which is similar to Herblore, but has some farming aspects inside. Now, Slayer is really, really interesting, as they're going to have a different take on the skill when compared to RuneScape. Now, I love Slayer in RuneScape 3. If you watch my videos, you know that. If you know me in game, you know that I like Slayer. But they want to add some kind of dungeoneering, crafting related elements to Slayer so that, for example, you create a stake during Slayer to kill a vampire. I'm just saying something randomly, but you create items during the skill that you require to finish a Slayer task. I assume it's going to be a task, which could very well become very, very interesting. Now, I couldn't try Slayer during the test build I got, but if I create a video later down the line, if this game truly pops off, I will be sure to show you guys how this skill works. Now, Artisans is basically crafting, and with that we have covered the 18 skills they currently have in mind. And keep in mind, this is not finalized, and they could change things during the development process, which is pretty obvious if a game is this early in development. As for combat, okay, so they will have PvP, and they plan to have, or at least probably will have, some kind of fun PvP minigame, like Clan Wars, Castle Wars, or maybe some kind of Hunger Games, Battle Royale type of thing. Though, nothing is set in stone. I just want to say that's just things they're thinking about, ideas that were thrown around in voice chat. As for PvE or PvM, this is a traditional MMO in terms of monsters around the world you can kill. There will be Slayer, and there will also be bosses. Now, something that surprised me and intrigued me at the same time is that they mentioned that games like World of Warcraft, RuneScape 3, bosses, raids, dungeons, they are all able to do this with the engine, and they are certain of it, as long as they get enough support, of course, that they can create a fun PvM experience. They mentioned examples of stuns, spells, magic hits, certain mechanics, you hitting the monster in a certain way, in the legs, in the head for extra damage, whatever it may be, phases, all that kind of stuff. And that just seems awesome, honestly. Without the tick system, of course. And as someone who really likes combat in games, especially MMOs, I don't play for the story. They did mention that the lore is about Titans, and there will be a lot of quests. I saw monoliths around the area that are apparently going to be important for the lore. This is why I have faith in this game. This is why I wanted to create a video on it. I am very, very excited to see where this game will go after the Kickstarter. I have been looking for a game similar to RuneScape just because I wanted to play a game similar to RuneScape for a couple of years. Now, I've tried a couple of games. I've even played Albion Online, which apparently is similar to RuneScape. I've played it for like 2 hours and then I got bored. But that didn't feel like RuneScape. This does feel like RuneScape, albeit in a low polygon graphical package. It is the closest thing you'll ever find to a RuneScape game, and I think this game deserves credit for that, for taking that leap of faith in trying to create a game similar to RuneScape, which is very challenging, and they've done it well already. I am honestly really impressed. Now, as for combat, they don't have anything set in stone, but they don't really want to go the path of EOC with lots of abilities like World of Warcraft, Japanese MMOs, RuneScape 3. They want 1 or 2 abilities and mainly have it about a weapon style or weapon type. I think it's way too early on to start worrying about how this game will be, but if it doesn't have many abilities, I feel like some RuneScape 3 players might not be as inclined to try out the game. Also, if you're wondering about environments, they're of course going to have a snow biome, desert biome, and so on. I actually saw some parts of it with the developers, but that's, still in development, obviously. Now, the final thing I want to cover in this video is the price of this game. What will it cost? Will it be buy to play? Will it be a subscription-based game? Will it be free to play? They mentioned various issues of free to play because of extra development time, bots, and so on. So the game will most likely be a subscription-based MMO with no free to play section, although that's definitely not set in stone. But they suspect the game will cost $8 to $9 per month. And perhaps the most notable thing is that they have no plans for microtransactions or pay-to-win aspects in this game. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I would like a game, or RuneScape, without Treasure Hunter. So that's a big, big plus. Now, they said they even didn't want to add in cosmetics. I assume over time they will, and that's completely fine, but I'm fairly certain they will never ever add pay-to-win aspects, treasure hunter, gambling systems, whatever that may be, which modern games usually have, into the game, which is very important. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it interesting. If you did, please leave a like down below and maybe even consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.